You have an inner voice inside of your head that kind of like narrates your day for you. It kind of like helps you think, maybe problem solves. You kind of like talk to yourself before going to sleep. If you do, it's called an inner dialogue or an inner monologue, and not everybody has that. And I didn't know that. I thought everybody had that. This video is of a girl who doesn't have one, so I thought it would be pretty interesting to watch.
My thought process is more like sporadic or random jot notes. It's not my voice talking all the time, and it's more like I'm just seeing lines of thought, and maybe they have voices associated to them or tones associated to them, but not necessarily my voice.
Do you have a voice associated with your inner monologue? Like, do you hear your own personal voice?
If you're typing something on a computer and the lines are just kind of like appearing on the screen, I think that's kind of how my brain works, and that's why jot notes feel like the best way to describe it. When I hear that other people have like a constant kind of dialogue and stream in their head, and that when they're doing a task, they'll just be thinking about things the entire time they're doing a task, it actually kind of feels a little overwhelming. Like, how do you deal with that, and how does that feel?
It is overwhelming, and yeah.
I always thought it was something that people just manifested and made up for movies and books and characters, just to kind of like explain your inner thought process and like have like a way to explain your inner thought process. But I didn't realize that it was actually that constant for people, that people did actually have a little kind of voice in their head telling them different things and what to do and what to think and stuff like that. I don't have that. Sometimes I will just speak it out loud. I find that, especially when I'm alone, I'll just kind of like, encourage myself out loud versus kind of saying it in my head.
If you're not like thinking before you're speaking, then where does the thought come from?
Music lyrics come into my head a lot, and I'll hear the music as the singer sings it. So thinking my thoughts through before I say something, that is something that I never ever was good at when I was growing up. I constantly get in trouble, especially my mom. She'd try to kind of instill in me, no, you have to think before you speak, because I would often put my foot into my mouth and say something that I probably shouldn't have said. As I grew up, it didn't get better. I didn't think before I spoke. It's almost like I just got better at reading the situation subconsciously and knowing what to say and what to respond with. Because I'm not running things through my mind first, it does kind of lose that filter first, and that kind of contributes to the whole, like, people often know what I'm thinking because I will say exactly what I'm thinking. I think it is something that we should know more about.